men's draw. Here in the Tundra Ice Hall, draw number 4. As we look at our featured game, it's Korea playing Russia, both at 1 win, 2 losses. So quite the important game for both teams here. My name is Sander Vog, and I'm joined by the charming Alison Kraviazik. We're going to take a look at the standings.
So here at the top, we actually have Switzerland alone at the top at 3-0. Tied for second place, we've got Canada, Russia, Scotland, and Sweden. For third place, since we're only in the 4th game of the men's, we've got Estonia, Italy, Korea, and the US at 1 win and 2 losses, and a surprising Norway at the bottom at 0-3. Not the start that they were looking for.
We're going to take a look at Korea's lineup. It's Sungyo Sun at lead, Taegon Kim at second, Ki-bok Lee at third, and the team is skipped by Kyung Lee. Alternate Chigu Kim and Min Chan Kim as team coach.
For the Russian team, at lead, we've got Mikhail Vaskov. At second, we've got Alexander Kuzmin. At third, we've got Timur Gadchikov. At skip, we've got Artur Ali. The alternate is Pantelimon Lapo. And at coach, seem to be okay.
Right into action here.
Yeah.
At on sheet C, center court. Now we have 1 stone played already. It was Korean lead Sungyo Sun drawing to the back of the house, so Russia feeling like we're going to put a corner guard up. As we take a look at the stone colors, Korea playing the red, Russia the yellow. And of course Russia will have the last stone for the send. They outdrew the Koreans in the last stone draw before the game. There is Sun Young Sun. And I think they're looking for the center guard. So sometimes we see a team bringing both rocks into the house if they've had a heavy draw, but Korean team likes to keep the center guard in play here.
Yeah, and their first rock going a little bit further back than they probably would have hoped for, but second shot puts it into a good place.
Mikhail Vaskov, lead for Russia, put up a nice corner guard. And now he's looking to come around the Korean red center guard on the intern side. And I wonder if this side might be running a bit straighter.
It sure looked like it in practice.
Comes out onto the red, so that's a nice result. Taegon Kim, second for Korea. A few new faces for us. Haven't really seen too much from these Koreans. He won the Pacific Junior Curling Championships this year to qualify, beating China in the final. As he's just going to wreck on that center guard, allowing Russia to put 1 more stone in the house to lie to. Alexander Kuzmin, second for Russia. I've heard that this team is a professional.
Yes.
Do curling for a living?
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing thing being able to play the sport that you love for a living. Not many countries are able to do that, so that's really fantastic.
It's going to redirect off the corner guard and ends up behind the center. Not terrible.
No, not a bad result.
Now I can't say for sure for the Koreans, but I know Korea has been putting a lot of money into the curling program. Of course, the Olympics being held in Pyeongchang in 2018, and I hear they have more than a dozen professional teams over there. So I'm guessing these guys have some funding as well.
Makes for some good competition within the country as well.
Run back here.
Very nice. His shooter will roll to cover the ones in the back though, which is a little bit of an unlucky roll there, but leaving Russia a chance to bring another one in here.
Well, the run backs are something I'm used to seeing from the Korean teams. Flawless technique and on straight. When the stones are running straight for those upweight shots, it really takes the ice reading out of it. And it's all about throwing it clean to the brush.
Absolutely.
And something at least the Korean teams I've seen in the past do quite well. Going to take our first look at Taegon Kim, third for Team Korea. I think they might be lining up a double on the yellow rocks here. Just run that top one down onto the other, just clip it out.
Yeah, definitely looking at the double possibility here. At least release those ones in the back. Start moving them around.
Yeah, even if you jam it here, it's not too awful.
No.
Get rid of that back red.
If you stay in the front too, you leave your shot up there for them to deal with.
Some big thrust out the hack for Taegon Kim. Oh, sorry, Ki Buk-lee. Does jam it.
Not a bad result though.
Not too bad. And here is Timmy G. As we've called them at prior World Junior Championships.
You seemed to like that nickname when you brought it up.
He's been at a few World Juniors before.
Coming second place in 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was in Sochi actually, a test event for the Olympics. He had a really nice run that week, losing out to Kyle Smith in the final, beating Canada in the semi. And that team was actually skipped by Evgeny Arkhipov, who represented Russia at the Olympics a year after.
Sure, it gives you some confidence going into the next season. Silver medal.
Yeah, had a bit of a bad run last year in Flims. They got relegated. Placed 7th, a bit unlucky. Oh, there we go.
Great
Nice
shot.
double.
And we'll lie for 2. Great shot.
Well, like I said, Russia got relegated by they won the European Junior Curling Challenge in Prague earlier this season, beating Spain in the final. So back in it at the World Juniors. Lost to Sweden in the first draw. Then they beat Canada.
Taking a 5 on Canada too.
Yep.
That was a big end for them. Doing pretty well right now at 2-1.
Yeah, also beat Norway yesterday. So they're at 2 wins, 1 loss. I think made a mistake coming into the game. They're at 2-1.
With Korea at 1-2 right now, they're going to want to take this win.
Yeah, you hate to drop 3 games early in the week.
Yeah.
A record of 6-3 is the only thing that's going to guarantee you a chance for the playoffs. If you end up at 5-4, you might get a tiebreaker, but you might not. So
the Russian Stone just sliding through the back of the house. This gives Korea a really good opportunity to sink one at the top of the house and really put the pressure on Russia to not give up a steal this end.
Kiyoung Lee, skip for Team Korea. Return draw, just waiting for this one to bend. Weight looks pretty good. Just really had to wait for that one to swing.
Yeah, sweepers really had to just keep waiting and waiting, as much as they probably wanted to sweep.
And although that's a good draw, it is in the open, and a chance for Artur Ali, skip of Russia, to play a hit and roll here and behind the other Reds, remembering that there's a yellow corner guard up front. There we see it. So if he can snuggle his way in behind there, could be hard for Korea to get it out. Still a chance for 2. Artur Ali also part of the team that won that silver medal in Sochi. He was the lead back then. So often we see leads step up and take on the skipping role, throwing 4th rocks. That draw weight, so important for leads and skips alike. So it doesn't roll in behind the corner, but rolls in by the center guard instead. Leaves a pretty short run back though. A 8-2 record at the Pacific Junior Championship. And it's just going to clip the yellow. So I didn't catch a lot of that yellow, but when you're playing up weight like that, you don't really have to.
Just need a piece.
So that works out for him, and leaves a draw 4-1. Mission accomplished for Team Korea, forcing Russia to take their one. Forcing, as we might say.
Yes.
Sweepers backing off this. Now having a little feel for it. Seems to be settling down. Looking pretty good here from Artur Ali. Finds the forfeit. Score of 1 for Russia in the first end.
Давайте, нормально. Внимательно, Тимур, у тебя пятерка слабее.
Да. Если что, поменяемся.
Гард.
А если очень прям большая разница?
Хотя нет, давай в дом, 4.
Давай гард, зачем?
Посмотрим, что они сделают.
Что-то он, я его не понимаю, сам же хотел. Посмотрим, что они сделают.
Some assertive comments are being thrown around in the Russian squad. Although I can't really make out too much, so it could be pillow talk.
Yeah, we'll go by off body language this game, I think.
If you have any questions for us or any comments, if we make a mistake, please let us know. or if you have anything to add to the game, just post a comment on Twitter, hashtag WJCC2015.
Or if you have any questions for either me or Sander, we're happy to answer them for you.
Маловато, это на гард похоже. Вращения мало.
I know Alison's very knowledgeable.
Линия очень узкая.
She's been on tour for many years, so she probably knows everything about curling.
Everything. There's that confidence in me again.
Я не знаю.
Это очень мягко было.
Может, в конце подзакрыл, вроде отпустил нормально.
Center guard from Russia. Over curls a wee bit, so just off the center line, but not too bad there.
Korea's going to draw around and beat them to the center.
Yeah, another call. We see some teams might play the corner guard. Yeah, ever like that call?
I do. I think in the second end, perhaps maybe they're just looking to just kind of keep it easy and not to put too many rocks in play. But you know, with going in around first, it mind you, it is only top 8, but generally it does cut off the scoring area.
Well, when you got perfect draw weight like that, it makes to come around
that much easier.
Места больше.
Yeah, there's different ways of playing it. I know your team used to play the tick shot. Kind of a new approach to the game.
With Korea being as good as they are at their runbacks, maybe they're feeling very confident in it. Doesn't concern them, perhaps.
Freeze attempt from Russian lead, Mikhail Laskov. Comes up a bit short. And decision time again for Korea. It could come around the center guard once more. But the other call also implemented as just drawing to the wing. We probably like this in behind T, just so Russia can't hit and roll into the 1 foot. That's just going to go through, I think. Although camera angle does lie a few times. I think Archer Ali thinks it's outside. No? No.
Guess not.
Playing the hit.
Must be just hanging on to the marker on the back.
Always a bit dangerous leaving these nibblers lying around. We saw that between Norway and Canada. Canada scored 4. They had 2 just clinging on the rings early on in the end.
Yeah, those biters sometimes come back to haunt you.
Rolls out. And I think we'll see the same call from Korea. Just draw the wing.
They're looking to get it in the back of the house so that there's no hit and roll for shot opportunity for Russia. And they'll do just that. It's a really good placement.
내가 얘기하는 거보다 이만큼 앞에 보고 와.
Forcing Russia to throw a hit on the open one. Not being able to make a move on the center rocks.
Воу, поднять. Воу, поднять. Подними щетку, нельзя так вести. Хорош.
Just hangs on, but freeze being the call here. Korea has hammer, so They just need to get it basically the same shot he just had, same weight. Try and get it to an angle so that the hit becomes a little bit riskier for Russia. Risk of jamming on their own now on the side.
오케이, 바꿔서 와. 많이 돌아야 돼. 많이 돌아야 돼.
Yep.
어디?
Yep. Hold.
Trying to bring it in for shot, and they will. Try and get as far back as they can. And being higher up, it does give Russia that out of being able to try and make the hit and roll behind cover here. So just a bit of a missed opportunity there for Korea.
Whoa! Поднять. Легко. Фип. Воу! Миша. Миша, ролл. Давай, давай, тащи, тащи, тащи.
Wow. That's a really nice roll.
So even though he does jam on the back, it's rolled to a really nice spot.
I wonder if you can see any of it.
Блин, надо было раньше свип брать.
I think you might just see maybe half of it. Thin half. It's kind of hard to tell from where we're sitting. They're coming after it though, it seems.
Wonder how much you can see of the red on the other side, because wonder if there was a reason he didn't roll it any further than he did. Wow, great shot. Perfect weight, just controlling the break point. If you throw too much weight, it might end up tracking on you and just floating out. So that was really, really good way at managing that rock. Especially that side with being maybe a touch straighter.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Tip, tip, tip.
Да. Миша, ролл.
Whoa.
Not a bad spot to roll to. Cuts off the one nibbler in the back
흰색 눌러야 돼. Мне кажется, сейчас средний.
to lie for second shot.
как у него прошел? 흰색 물어야 된다고. 8 물어야 돼. 아니면 이렇게 올래?
저리 놔두다가 얘들 또 갖다 붙이면 해야 돼.
So draw to the wing here.
승조가 해야 돼. 승조가. 아니야. 아니야. 티라인도 괜찮아. 아니야. 오면 안 돼. 아니야. 태가 떼. 더 오면 멀어. 아니야. 태가 떼.
큰일 좀 하자.
안 돼.
Making sure it stops for second, and it won't. Just a touch too heavy. Leaving another nibbler, but that yellow one is pretty well guarded.
здесь проще.
Вот так вот?
Да. Ну здесь смотри, у тебя камень где-то торчит. Вот так будет хорошо.
Давай. 7.
Давай. Здесь сторона чуть побыстрее вроде.
А? Дро, да.
So Russia looking to draw in behind here. Running the risk that if it is a little bit open, the Koreans could have a slash to try and hit that back yellow.
Добавил. Вес. Не немного. 4 надо. Поменяться надо. Саша первый. Саня, свип. Да, пошел. Свип. И до конца свип. Лучше красного свип. Да. Давай, лучше, парни, свип. Да. Будет, свип. Сколько? 0,8?
Just a bit short there. Definitely, he was looking for around top 4 draw weight, so just a bit too short, unfortunately.
Почему с этой стороны это легче, кстати, завести? Там гард выше стоит. Да, его не выцепишь отсюда.
Ну тут красный задел и все, блин. Те роллы и до свидания.
On the plus side, there is no slash for the Koreans. Definitely go into their own red instead, so.
Yeah, so Korea looking to draw into the forfeit here. They were a bit worried that if they play the outturn draw, there could be a slash for Charlie onto his own red and come off the top red back onto it, so a double. So they're drawing the other end just not to set up that type of shot.
Need to be careful with the placement of the stone too. If it's open, you could leave a double on the reds, which is definitely not what they're looking for. So it's best to bring it perhaps a little bit further back, if possible, without leaving Russia an out to freeze on it. So a bit of a risky, not risky, a bit of a difficult shot for Korea, but good chance for him to get his draw weight.
Working this one really hard. Looks pretty close.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much perfect.
Great shot.
이것도 괜찮아.
Убрать бы его еще.
Не, он торчит половину, больше даже, вот. Так.
Looking at the slash, I'm not quite sure if you'll get the double.
Ты думаешь так?
Looking at the run back.
Туда может пролететь.
Давай,
I'm not sure if you can see enough of it.
No, I don't think so.
Два лучше.
I don't think
That'll
you
go
want
right
to.
over the top.
Борт. Да.
I don't think you want to be making a play on your top yellow anyway.
No.
You might leave
open draw for 3.
So I think they're just going to pick off that draw. Korea just played and conceded 2. Charlie, last shot for him.
Легко. Фип. Воу. Фип. Воу. Поднять. Без ничего.
A little bit higher weight than I thought he was looking to throw.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure if he was concerned about sticking around there. I think they were just looking to peel it off.
I guess better safe than sorry.
So same draw again
Without
for
getting too cute.
Team Korea, drawing for 2. Perfect game plan so far if he makes it, forcing Russia to take their 1 on the first end and then scoring 2 themselves. Last stone of the second end.
Sweepers like it so far.
Just play the shot. You'd think he'd be pretty close with it. Kyung Lee with a sweeper friendly draw here. Right into the forefoot, no problems.
Perfect.
And Korea's going to jump up in the lead. 2 shots to 1 after 2 ends.
들어오니까 이거 몇 차?
이거 그냥 셌지? 어? 얘거 셌지 그냥.
8반이야. 그건 별로 없었어.
참기 셌어. 참기 셌어. 아 근데 내가 이것 때문에 이렇게.
알겠어.
알겠어. 잘했어, 잘했어.
Take a quick look at the other sheets. We've got Sweden playing the United States on sheet E, and Sweden is up 2-0 on the United States. We've got Italy versus Scotland. Italy with a 1-0 lead. Estonia versus Canada. Canada taking a 2 in the first end, blanking the second. And we've got Norway versus Switzerland on sheet A, and looks like Switzerland is up 2-0.
Thank you, Alison.
My pleasure.
Big team sweep to bring this rock into the 8-foot. Nice to see that they're not leaving those lead rocks be, but trying to maximize the result of every rock. Good start to the game for Vaskov. Again, asked for the corner guard.
Саша первый! Саша первый!
Шестой сам.
Пошире.
Сейчас в конце только. Здесь только в конце. Хороший вес сам. Вес сам.
Хорош.
So we did mention that Timur and Artur, they got that silver medal in Sochi 2 years ago. That is the only medal Russia has gotten on the men's side of the World Juniors, while Korea has never medaled at the World Junior Championships on the men's side. We have 1 medal on the women's side. It was last year in Flims. Kyung-Ai Kim losing out to Kelsey Rock in the final. Kyung-Ai Kim also went undefeated through the Pacific Asia Curling Championships, but lost out to China. Lucy Jia in the final. So
I believe it was in 2012. The Korean women's team came real close to getting a bronze medal at the Women's Worlds.
Дай! 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 Дай линию, супер, дай! Да, 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 да! Да, 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 да! Да, прошли, дай! 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 Да, 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 Саня, Рот!
nice sweep.
Squeaking it by. Not as much of a roll as they were hoping for. They were hoping to clip that and roll behind their corner guard. But at least it takes their rock away from the top 8-foot, pushes it back, something that perhaps they can use a little bit later.
Tagan Kim looking for a hit and roll back. But it's going to overcurl and roll the way out. So scoring area fairly open for Team Russia. First call from Artur was to come around the center guard, but now looking at maybe come around the corner. I don't mind that call.
I like this. Don't need to junk up the middle when you've got the hammer.
Yes. Пока линия чуть шире, Миша первый. Миша первый будет.
Побольше, ждать пока.
Нет, Тимур.
Вес будет хороший. Вес уже можно.
Дай! 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 Воу.
Вес, 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 вес.
Сип тогда до конца, Сип.
Line looks really good on this.
Да, прячь. Дай!
Great judgment. Sweepers waiting as long as they could to make sure that the line was going to get there, and it did. Great shot.
안 보인다고.
And we'll look at a run back. Of course, the tolerance here being to just peel the guard.
이렇게 해도 돼.
At least just make sure it goes
이렇게
away.
너무 위험하다.
Nice shot.
Yeah, these run backs
Yeah,
are being made, aren't they?
흥조.
great shot.
얘기하는 거 하나도 안 들려. 얘기하는 게 하나도 안 들린다고.
It's a nice tool to have.
기본이.
Absolutely. Huge advantage to be able to make those shots when they matter.
Тут широкая, внимательно.
линия шире.
Этот быстрее.
Нет,
тянет.
легко. Легко.
Нет, сам пока.
Куда идет?
Внимательно,
Воу.
линия.
Воу.
Вес сам пока.
Ничего.
Вес
Дай.
можно уже.
дай. Да. Воу.
Вес сам.
Another nice draw.
А что ты сюда полез? Что ты сюда полез?
Сейчас уже сюда неохота.
Seems a bit further, but
Вязаться здесь
still
будет.
fully buried.
Он же все равно туда не полезет, если мы сюда закинем.
Maybe a hair open, but not too much.
Korea's going to come through the port on the outturn draw. Buckley
바꿔서 와. 바꿔서 와.
could have followed rush on the same turn, but thinking they might get a better angle on the freeze coming
얘들.
through the port here.
아니야 들어. 플리. 아직. 너만.
Looking good for line. And there we go. Wow.
Perfect shot. Holy.
랩. 네.
Wasn't even
Get loose.
swept at all.
So maybe it's a touch heavy out of his hand, but the result was perfect. Unless he's just trying to give his sweepers a break. Just very kind of him.
I can make this on my own.
Yeah, I got this, guys.
Timmy G looking to follow this freeze down. Looking pretty good too. Nichiwo means nothing. You know that by now.
There we go.
And a little tap on the yellow works out.
Yep.
Probably would have liked to curl just a tiny bit more, just to
Yeah.
kind of angle the red one off the back yellow, but good shot nonetheless from Timur.
우리가 1번이야. 그거보다 더 약한 샷 할까? 제일 멀리 놓을 거잖아. 넘기기만 하면 되니까.
So he's made this draw once already. See if we can make it again.
아이 좋아.
Come through the port.
하나.
Well, they're actually guarding,
라인만. 둘.
thinking the angles are,
In their favor.
yep, going to be hard for Team Russia to remove that red. And with a guard here, it's going to make it hard for them to even get to the forfeit. That's a nice guard. Gets a little bit of separation there. There might still be a port though. Maybe over curl a fraction, yeah. I think you can probably see a little bit of their own yellow from the hack.
Okay.
So just come
Главное, чтобы довалил.
pretty much play the exact same shot. Come around, tap it up a little bit.
Yes.
Tolerance here being that you get rid of the guard, knock it out of the way.
Yeah, you can afford to play this one all tight. Because if you go right by everything, that's not a good
No, absolutely
result.
not.
And right now it's looking a little high and maybe a little pacey. Does get some contact, but I'm not quite sure if that's a good result.
So we're going to see a lot of weight, I think, coming down the sheet now. As long
Зря
as
центр полезли, Артур.
they're able to
Зря центр
see
полезли.
that
Кто бы
yellow.
удар поставил, что бы мы делали?
Actually, I'm not sure they
Если бы мы
can
его
with
туда
that
закинули,
corner
не полезли бы
red
туда,
there.
правильно?
Just figuring out who's shot first. Maybe they were thinking of guarding if they were lying shot, but they're going to play the double
Yeah, there we
off the
go.
wide one.
Yep.
Побегайте. побегай я там. 묶여 맞춰야지. 태경아 반.
As listed, his sports idol as Glenn Howard.
Picked a good one.
It's not a bad skip to look up to. In-turn double. There we go. Really good. Does not get rid of the second yellow, but not really important.
No. Korea team's not really missing a beat, eh?
아 이거 더 빠졌어야 돼.
내가 닦으러 가려니까 돌이 이렇게 막아가지고 기분이한테 바로 시켰어.
Потом, если что, отсюда играть. Но он сюда повезет все равно.
Можно просто стоять ставить.
И чего
Вообще
дальше?
хорошо, если бы он перевалился бы, растолкал бы вот этот. Вот так сыграть.
Если просто сюда.
Завести?
Но это не заводишь, отстойно
Да.
будет.
Давай вот так вот по уходящей.
Зачем? Давай так ударим, нормально.
Тут гард мешает.
Он вот здесь стоит. Ты как хочешь? Оттолкнуть? Этот сюда?
Да, чтобы перевалился наш.
Я предлагаю просто бить. Нет?
Я хочу вот так.
So
вот.
now
Тебе
they're
надо
just
очень
looking
тонко попадать, чтобы он туда
to
пошел.
nose
Не-не,
this
сюда-то
perhaps,
нормально.
or just off nose and
Ну как хочешь.
get
Средний.
rid of the one
Ты здесь знаешь
red.
линию?
Да, он здесь прямо сначала идет, потом подваливает.
It's like that yellow's going to drag back onto the red on the side.
А? Бьем по уходящей.
Только шире
Пытаемся
нельзя
там
никак
выцепить.
вообще.
А? Да.
Легко. Воу. Воу. Поднять. Дай! Нет! Дай! Нет! Воу-воу-воу-воу! Воу-воу-воу-воу-воу-воу-воу!
Hits one and rolls out.
Это отстойное задание, Артур.
А?
Это не отстойное задание.
Нормально. Мы бы распихали бы здесь хотя бы. Камни.
You could be tempted to just draw one more in there, but I think they're a bit concerned of this wide yellow and maybe Arch Rally being able to come off it.
Василий Николаевич говорил.
괜히 이상하게 이렇게 서면 더블이잖아 바로.
Hit and roll, perhaps.
Придется искать. Да, там есть линия?
이렇게 서면 그냥 바로 때리면 되겠는데.
근데 어쩔 수 없다. 아니면 이렇게 봐야지.
Talked before about the Korean women's team in 2012, but last year we actually had Russia versus Korea for the women's and the bronze game as well.
어차피 얘네 2점은 힘들잖아.
Korea coming up a bit short there too. The Anna Sidorova taking the bronze last year.
아니면 아예 이렇게 보든가.
Could tell it really meant a lot to both of those teams.
A는 이걸로 보자.
It's a hard game to play.
웨이트야? 컨트롤 라인.
아니면 정타도 괜찮아. 정타도 더블은 힘들어. У него здесь любой.
So I think they're playing a little hit and roll here. Hanging out there so far. Maybe well, stuffs it on the back. That was maybe always going to happen, but doesn't quite roll the red one into the forfeit.
Главное в лужу не попасть.
Maybe not too bad. There is a slash on the reds, but I'm not quite sure if it's there for two.
Предлагаю садить.
Сильный.
You could maybe
Достаточно.
That's tough.
could maybe slash it, and I'll tick off one of the yellows and just spin out the side, and maybe you save the one yellow for two, but that seems
Единственное, он вот этот может
very
задеть.
difficult.
А? Давай, давай. Давай привезем, нет.
So just gonna draw.
I think this is the safer call. It's better to be tied without hammer, in my opinion, I think at this point, than be down 3-1. Risk giving up a steal.
И так надо.
It's not a super easy draw, but it's pretty much the same path as a button draw, although there's a few guards up front. And they'll even have a little backing if they overcurl here. So if anything, he needs to be tight to the center guard, not wide. At the moment, the sweepers are just
Shot. Great shot.
another sweeper's delight.
Yeah.
Although, for those last rocks, I'd rather be sweeping a little bit than just watching it.
Yeah. Always makes you a little bit more nervous when you're taken out of the equation.
So a nice draw from Archer Ali, the New Year's baby, born 1st of January, 1994. So 1 day off from forget it. My thinking is, if you're a curling family, you should make sure the baby's born after 1st of July. That way they get a second or an extra junior year to play the Worlds.
Unless you lived in Canada before this year.
Hashtag, again, WJCC 2015. If you have any comments or questions for us. If you're just joining us, we're here in Tallin, Estonia, for the World Junior Curling Championships. This is the 4th men's draw in the competition. It's Russia playing Korea. It's tied up at 2 each. Russia having won two games, lost one. Korea at 1-2. And there's a few games out there as well in action. 4 other games to be exact, and maybe Alison can update us on the scores.
All right. So Switzerland taking a steal of 2 in the third end, so that brings them up 4-0 over Norway. We've got another steal on another sheet. We've got Canada stealing 1 in the third, so they're up 3-0 over Estonia. We've got US playing Sweden, tied 2-2, playing the fourth, and we've got Scotland versus Italy, 2-0 in the fourth end, or sorry, 2-1 in the fourth end.
Угар высокий, можно так. Мешки, ладно. Двадцать 27.
27.
Вес есть пока.
Дай.
Вес можно ждать.
Дай.
Нет, вес
Вес.
26.
Нельзя
26
гард,
со
нельзя
свипом.
гард уже. Давай, Саня, свип.
Last time this happened, Korea chose to draw the wing. Maybe now thinking forfeit. It's either or.
Yeah. Worked out for them last time, so could try it again.
Gonna draw the same wing as well.
Yeah,
2 ends ago, he played the draw we thought was through, just clinged on
Yeah,
by a quarter of an inch.
small biter.
And Russia ended up playing a hit on it. This time, some sweeping being done, so I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's not going to slip through. Want this behind the tee, of course, like Alison pointed out. Don't want to leave them the hit and roll in behind, and that's a good spot for that rock. And Russia they don't want to play around too much. They play the hit out here and try and roll towards the center nonetheless. Korea's going to try and hit and roll back, and we might see this a few times until somebody rolls out or makes that roll in behind cover.
I think so.
Вообще у него не упал. Опять вертушку пустил.
Ну слабо и вкрутил.
Alexander Kuzmin has listed Ronnie O'Sullivan as one of his idols, the snooker player. If you're going to be just as accurate as him, you're going to be... And now Korea's going to roll in behind cover. So it's a nice roll, but you do leave that draw. So I'm not quite sure if that was what they were looking for.
Perhaps it was over curling and he thought, why not go for the roll, perhaps?
Yep. Maybe actually trying to roll all the way over to the other wing even. But ends up in a spot where Kuzmin can play a nice freeze and really save Russia. This draw coming down. No. Will pull up a bit short. Seems to have left the inside of the hill.
Нормально.
Ну вес поменьше, он даже не довалил, даже никуда.
Его терли еще.
Korea still does run the risk of jamming on their back one, but they do have a bit of space here by the guard, so they're looking to hit nose, if not a touch on the inside, and get that roll.
Gets a little lucky there, rubs off the top red. And they're lying 3 now, so decent shot from Taegun Kim. He's the only player to have listed a Korean sports idol.
Okay.
Yi-Sung Park. Not sure if you would know who that is.
I do not. Enlighten me.
Football midfielder, most known for playing for Manchester United. Very hard-working player.
Okay.
Good work ethic. So hopefully he will, Tagon Kim will adapt that and just sweep the sheet up and down throughout the whole game. He has done so far anyway. As we see a bit of a miscue from
And for our North
Timur.
American viewers, soccer.
Soccer, yes. Yeah, he's not a wide receiver. It's never-ending debate.
No.
What football is.
No. Something I've been trying to get used to.
So, still line 2, Korea. With a chance of drawing for 3. Want to try and find some cover for this one. Don't want to leave a double. Just hanging out there so far. Calling out for a biter. I think that works out okay.
라인 좀 넘어게 계속 넘어게.
I think Archer Ali's called a double.
Щетки-то немало на 7.
Не должно.
Воу.
A little wide on his first one, Timur.
Поднять.
A little wide on the second, yeah.
Well, it does push the other one into the open a bit.
Опять шире.
Да, в конце делаешь.
But just leaves that same draw again and make it even a little bit easier this time. Did push that red one out in the open. And this one running a bit hot and
Setting up a pocket now for Russia to come down onto.
이런 건 약하게 쳐야 될 거 아니야. 똑같이 차라니까.
Tough one for Korea.
Нет, зачем? Свой сверху останется.
Давай 0.
Подпорочкой. Зачем 0?
Или борт. Давай борт.
Конечно, борт. 0 точно нельзя.
am I hearing the word abort?
Board?
As in
Он чуть-чуть подмазан, мне кажется.
Нет, нет, нет.
damage control?
Может, колодку, нет?
Looking at the double here and
Yeah.
not wanting to leave too many redstones
Открыт
around.
есть?
Yep.
You could play the freeze, maybe just bump the
the
shot
red
Korea
back a
just
little
played
bit.
and just bump that
Board.
marker stone, try and lie in,
Yeah.
in
that
between.
Board.
I guess that is quite a bit riskier.
A little bit risky, so
Not having hammer in this end.
Archer's thinking if I play this double, I'm not giving up more than 2. And with that third red being in the open, he might be able to play a double on his next one as well. So
Yeah.
Поднять. Сам до конца.
a bit more of the conservative call. But he's going to make this one though. And Archer also hanging out there. And he's going to jam it.
Куда ты лупишь-то слабый?
And that's no good for Team Russia.
No. Tough one.
Мало веса.
Очень.
No, Archer
Слабый ты.
probably going to have to make a double to concede too.
Смотри, куда он откатил.
Тимур,
Слабый ты, шире.
что за
Great chance of scoring 3. Now this is the straight side that we did mention. Saw them take only about 3 foot for the tee draw in practice. I've seen that before in past days. Here on the center court, Sheet Charlie.
Yep.
I think this is where the final will be played.
Usually in the middle.
Sometimes the umpires and ice makers might change the sheet if they feel like there's a bit sheet that's a bit better for either ice conditions or viewing purposes.
Yep. You'll never see a final on an end sheet, though.
No.
No.
Oh, well, it did happen at the European Championship,
Did
I
it?
think. We had
I'd be surprised.
in Stavanger.
Okay.
Maybe I was second next to the end sheet. Not sure.
Okay. Think hard. So, what do you do if you're Russia now?
Oh boy.
Давай отсюда.
Пусть так сделает, пусть.
Давай вот так просто.
А если провезешь, то
Are
будет
they
хреново.
thinking about freezing? That seems a little audacious.
That's pretty risky.
Ну да, может так. Можно даже, в принципе, вот так его
Он весь
оставить.
открыт.
Можно даже полуоткрытый его оставить. Пусть
There's no
лезет,
obvious
может,
double,
ошибется.
No.
except for the long slash, but if
Вести
you don't
будем
make
или
it,
как?
it's
And your shooter's going out.
yeah, it's a guaranteed 3 for
So-
Korea.
Вариантов особо нет больших.
Тут двойного
Freeze,
нигде
you're
нет,
risking
если только
four.
вот так вот. Но если не
If you make
попадаешь,
it real
смотри.
good, you can be forcing.
Посмотри с колодки сколько. Вот
Да
столько.
там меньше, чуть
Мне
больше
кажется, там вот так.
половины.
Maybe this is
Стой,
a good
колодку
time for the
смотри.
guys to call out their coach, get a
Давай, Фриз.
second opinion.
Вот так щетку.
Че, фриз? Блять, там делать уже нечего больше. «90».
Легко. Линия свип. Дай, свип. Линия свип. Линия свип. Воу.
Воу!
Воу. Все, линия есть. Только вес. Только вес.
Inside, try and bury it, and I'm not sure if he's fully buried. Korea calling the peel on it right away.
Было бы вообще шикардосно.
If he makes it real good, he can pick it clean off for 3.
I think I would have swept that a little bit more to keep the line on the other side. This being the side that he can see, it's not going to jam on the back red there, but if he kept it a bit high, he wouldn't have that high side slash.
Воу! Го!
Ooh. And might be 2. Or is it just 1?
Посмотрите.
Might be worth a measure. And that's what they'll do. So this is a measure for 2 for Korea.
Просто бросай посильнее, они у тебя одинаковые. Все одинаково приходит. Один и тот же вес на все броски у тебя. Все 4-0. Да фиг его знает. Я так мельком глянул, не очень понятно было.
Да красный ближе.
Точно?
Да, я думаю, да.
I'd say that's a nice save from Artur Ali.
Ну ничего страшного.
It's looking a bit ugly. And, what are you thinking, red or yellow?
Kind of looks like it could be red, but camera angles, it's much, well, then again, they also when everything's settled, so I think they might think that it's red.
So the pressure needle just jumping there. Not sure if we'll see the second. I'm not sure if it even touched the yellow. So it is red.
There we go.
2 for Korea.
Чуть-чуть бы меньше, слабее было бы вообще шутка. Ну нормально, так, хоть от 3 отскочили. 아니, 처음에 4초인데 너가 두 번째가 8이래, 8. 웨이트는 계속 돼. 약하게 찰 거 얘네 니꺼 약하게 차라니까. 웨이트 계속 신경 써. 괜찮으니까 웨이트만 신경 쓰라고. 비슷하게만 놔주면 돼. 아깝다. 그래. 1점 땄대, 2점 땄대.
So, scoreline now 4-2 in favor of Korea as we enter the fifth end.
이제 10분 가면 될 것 같은데.
Russia will have hammer and try and score their two back and tie things up before the half-time break.
바꿔줘. 다섯. 잊지마. 링 앞에.
So a little bit short on the draw.
Nice brushing by the guys.
Threw a heavy draw and had his very first draw coming down this this side in the first end, but after that he's been a tiny bit shy,
Yep.
letting his sweepers work.
Better to be top 12, top 8 than in the back house. So maybe he's just being extra cautious.
Линия супер.
For sure.
Линия супер.
На надпись.
Another nice corner guard.
Хорош.
Сколько было? Опять 0, наверное. Замеряй, Саня, у меня просто нет цифр.
From Mikhail Vaskov.
대신 여기도 괜찮아.
Now Korea thinking maybe that top 12 redstone's not good enough to guard. So they're going to come around.
Good call. I like this.
다섯. 앞에 보고. 야.
Bit of an early release from Sun. Let's go the rock way before the hog line, and that'll often make your stone curl a little extra. A bit shy and weight this time too.
본다.
Teensy bit staggered, but not bad at all. Guys can use that a little bit later to maybe tap up their redstone.
Пока много линий.
Есть, ждать можно.
Тимур!
Можно ждать пока. Уже нужно.
Можно
Нужно
на
тут.
конец. Самый конец свой. Вот сюда. Давай, нажми. Давай, до конца.
Decent draw there.
Саш, куда ты опять налетел?
Could be.
Чем мне с этим
Looks like, oh, there we go. So they've got about half, 3/4 of the rock there.
나도.
Big weight. Just looking to pick it off, I guess. Oh.
Ooh, big miss. We talk about tolerance so much, but tolerance here was definitely to come tight and hit that guard. Leaves Russia another chance to put another one in here.
Вес.
Мало.
Делай вес. Линия
I
тоже
remember
надо.
my skip flashing a rock on that very side at the uni games, and
Yeah.
comment from the crowd.
Да, линия
This guy shouted out, "Swing and a miss." It was very pleasant.
Yeah, no kidding. Speaking of miss, it's coming up a bit short there, unfortunately. So now Korea looking at perhaps a double peel attempt here.
안쪽으로 가야 돼.
Or is he looking at the run back?
Might be the run. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Whoa.
Just
Unlucky.
stuffs it.
That's hard to do
Yeah.
with that weight. And Russia with a great chance of coming around the corner again. Upside for Korea is the
Я думаю, сюда вот.
roll to the center line.
Да, согласен.
So if they ever get one in behind there,
Быстрее, конечно. Чуть-чуть.
makes it a little tougher for Russia.
Yeah, we're going to see Russia try and beat them to it, though.
Легко. Дай. Оу.
Вес ждать, вес 4 за пока.
Легко. Дай. Дай.
Вес 4.
Да, линия, дай. Дай. Да. Еще. Оу.
Nice shot.
Что, торчит, нет?
Не торчит, но через эту дурацкую штуку играется.
Ну пусть сам через нее играет, нам
Ну,
ее тоже
да.
надо убирать. Контроль.
So Korea looking to just run their red onto the yellow at the top forefoot.
Lower down. Oh. Yep.
Roll it out of the way.
웨이트 맞춰 던져. 너무 떼잖아. 약한 거야 이거. 어? 약한 거야. 노멀 다운이라며. 노멀이죠.
Does get that shot on the forefoot, but does roll just to kind of cover their back yellow.
4 за у меня приходил. Тэп. Да.
Archerali calling the same in-turn draw again.
Вес.
И добавил.
Вес.
Внимательно. Линию ждать.
Надо ждать линию. Оу.
Миша.
Миша
Очень много
первый.
линий.
Миша первый. Несу вот сюда.
Just waiting for this one to swing in.
Миша, сип. И до конца, Миша.
Сип. Да. Лучше красного, да.
Just enough for a shot, I think.
Шире или что?
Да,
Maybe
в конце.
Maybe not, but I think,
Надо было пораньше взять.
I don't think you can see all of it to get that back yellow.
I think the nose hit is called.
Yeah. Can't get to the inside for sure. So no double available. But Korea, if they sit here at the top of the house, gaining control.
Контроль. 이제 내가 내 그 테이크 할 때 있잖아. 말로 해줘. 잘 안 보여. 처음 샷도
А наш
네가 너무
лучше там, да?
Наш лучше, можем вот так сделать.
So staggering those
Вот
two
так.
reds there make that back yellow not accessible
Вот
for
сюда вот.
Korea anymore.
Если уж вести, то с другой стороны
Здесь
проще.
очень мало, здесь ошибка такая.
Не, если вести, то с этой. Если мы ударим, мы по двойной, да, подставимся?
Ну да.
Ну давай, ладно.
0.
Сейчас просто, блин, завяжемся там еще. Лучше поосторожнее.
Оу. Легко. Нет,
Поднять.
ничего.
Ничего.
Wow. It's a pretty big miss.
Я не знаю, что у него с камнями.
Блять, хотел мягко отпустить, блять.
Korea may be looking to tap up their red. Sit behind cover.
야, 직접 볼까 아니면 캐브 할까?
직접 보면 더 낫지 않나?
근데 너무 애매하게 이렇게 쓰면은 더블이 너무 심해.
더블 놔도.
네. 여기 대신 깊숙이 가야 돼. 여기?
탭으로 할 거면 아니면 보내고 이거 일로 가게?
그러면 너무 열린다.
아니면 앞에 너무 열리죠. 직접 보자. 직접.
I think you can just
아, 태가 8?
draw right through the in between the reds.
Is that what they're looking at?
I think maybe they're calling the draw and
Top's okay.
knowing that they can slide off the top red, perhaps. It's kind of a snug port, but I think it's just there. If the skinny off the top red's not too bad.
아웃이라고. Yep. Yep.
Maybe just playing the straight tap, looking a bit wide, that's for sure.
Yep.
땡겨가면 안 돼, 땡겨가면 안 돼.
And that's a nice looking tap. Not quite in behind the guard, but not terrible. Maybe line up a double though,
думаешь?
off the side red.
Вот не так сложно.
It's definitely there.
Или вот так. Но мне
Я не
кажется,
знаю,
он
мне
не-
кажется, так он не дойдет.
Definitely
Да.
looks like the easier shot than following
Да,
that
вот
red
так
down.
нормально.
Двойной?
Да.
Может, это что уйдет? 50 или выше?
Да, 50.
I think that's a call.
Sure looks
Что,
like it.
двойной? А там, блин,
I hate to remove the wide reds, kind of stagger that yellow is in behind, well protected, but
50,
It's your only way of
50.
kind of safely getting at that red on the forefoot.
Воу!
Дай!
Свип! Свип!
Дай!
Свип!
Дай!
Свип!
Держать!
Держать! Свип!
Дай!
Свип!
Дай! Воу!
that's
Nice
real good.
shot.
Gets all spin up towards the center line as well.
Korea not taking very much time to figure out his next move.
Чуть не халат.
Or he's got the broom down, going down the sheet.
Да. Вот чуть-чуть плюс.
They have spent a little bit of time. They're looking at 18 minutes and 40 seconds just now. So they've spent more than half their time. But I wouldn't say they're in trouble.
Nope. Nope.
Not like USA and Canada yesterday.
No.
They had a lot less. There we go. That's the time clocks. And Korea's time clock will stop as soon as this stone crosses the tee line. We're playing with thinking time, of course, not playing time. Oh, gets a bit unfortunate there. I don't think that was the call. And I think he might be lying shot as well. Wow. That's
Well.
kind of a lucky break.
Yeah.
Crashes on the top red. Kicks
Wow.
over the one yellow.
He's lucky it didn't jam on that back red as well. Just takes both out.
Still a shot for two, I think, but
Definitely a lot harder now. Just have to make sure that you avoid the back yellow. Just take your deuce. You can be anywhere else in the rings now that the other ones got knocked out of play.
Very easy to sit in the hack here and think, I cannot overcurl this shot. I cannot jam it. And then you throw it, you flick it a little bit outside, and it never comes back, and you roll out for one.
The dreaded knot. Need to keep your mind in the positive.
Yep, got to be a little aggressive here. Last stone of the fifth end. Russia looking to tie up the game at 4 each with a little hit and roll. Perfect.
Great shot.
There's the deuce. And that's 5 ends played. 4 points for each team. As we head into the halftime break, both teams will have a chance to talk to their coach and alternate players and other staff they might have, get a few snacks and a little bit to drink, just talk things over, set up a game plan for the remaining 5 ends. We'll also have a short break, and we'll be back with some highlights from the first 5 ends, and of course the rest of this exciting matchup between Korea and Russia here at the World Junior Curling Championships. First end of the men's game, Korea-Russia. It's Artur Ali, skip of the Russian team, drawing against 2, finds the forfeit easily. That's a score 1 for the Russians. As we head into the second end, Korea already lying 1. It's an in-turn draw for Kyung Lee. Sweeper's dream as it enters the forfeit, score of 2, and they lead the game by 1 point after 2 ends. In the third, we saw Korea with the shot on the forefoot. Archer Ali drawing through a pour down onto the shot stone. 4-1. It's tied up at 2 each after 3. In the fourth end, a chance for Korea to pick off the single yellow in the house for 3. Just feathers it. And it's just enough for 2 after a measure. It would bring Korea into a 4-shots-2 lead. And fifth end, just before our halftime, Archer Ali made a delicate little in-turn takeout. Avoids the jam, scores 2, ties things up at 4 each. And it's a tied game now as we enter the sixth end. Buckley just stumbling onto the ice. It's Mikhail Vaskov lead for Russia. That will kick the sixth end off.
26. Сам. 26 будет, Артур. Сам. Лишь ждать пока. До конца ждать.
Sporting some
До конца ждать.
pink tape around his throwing arm.
Some sports tape.
That's
Keeping you in line.
it's not fun to tear off at the end of the week.
No.
Боковой.
No.
Especially if you have a few hairs.
Maybe shave before you put some on. No, some of the sports tape's actually okay to take off.
Well, then you got the good one.
By the expensive brand.
Sometimes you just try and rip it off in one swift motion and
Like a Band-Aid?
Yep, you barely get an inch and you got to do it like 3 or 4 times more. It's torture. There he is.
Больше веса. Нет, ничего. Давай на край, может.
Bit of a takeout this time. Not sure if he's played any so far in the game. He has played no takeouts. This is his first one and makes it good. Well, it's a little bit of a challenge as a lead. You throw so many draws. Sometimes you play a full game and not throwing a single takeout. And,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, how do I even do this?
Sometimes I find it's hardest the other way around.
True.
You're throwing hits all game and suddenly you need to throw some draws and you're thinking, what? Help me out, guys. What weight should I throw?
I guess that's a problem when you're playing second. And that's the other way around if you're lead.
Yeah. Then again, with the second position, at least you have your leads to watch.
Yep.
You can see what kind of weight they're kicking out with, and
Yeah, the leads have it tough. They're always the first one out in
Yeah.
battle, the first one out in the roughs.
yeah.
You have no clue what the speed is.
No.
Of course, at the championships, like here in Tallin, both teams have a team practice before the game starts, so usually have a fairly good idea about the speed, and the ice is very
consistent.
very consistent.
Yep.
Thank you for every draw, so it's not too hard to figure out. Tag on Kim. Tries to roll. Very close to making it. I think maybe Russia won't be able to see the inside of the hill.
Есть запас? Борт!
Well, perhaps they do. Seems like they do. So, you're going to try this little flop in behind the center.
Чуть больше, да, можно, там падает. Да, 40 ровно.
I don't think Russia would mind seeing a blank end here in the sixth.
No, I was just about to say that actually. wouldn't mind a blank and try and force them in the 7th. Probably be a good end goal for Russia.
Yeah, especially the second half of the game, you start looking at the scoreboard a bit more, trying to score in the even ends. Of course, if Korea would blank this one, there's 4 remaining ends, and if you force Korea to score in the 7th, you got 2 hammers against 1 in the 3 last ends. Not looking too happy with his efforts, Taegon Kim. His numbers aren't reflecting a very good game. Same goes for Gudsikanov. He's had a few mistakes.
Yes!
Looking to raise his game for the second half.
Саша!
Пять хорошо.
Саша! Сик!
Саша,
Пошел до конца! До конца!
Давай, Саня, свип!
Да! Сип! 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 Воу! Воу!
Воу-воу-воу. Все.
Nice guard. High enough that makes the run a little bit trickier. And again, that is exactly what they're calling here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, these guys play so much weight that even if you catch it just off nose and don't get the run, the shooter's most likely going to roll away from the center line.
If it rolls to a corner, that wouldn't be the end of the world for Korea.
This is just going to roll off.
Peel it off.
많이 바깥쪽이라고. 많이 바깥쪽이라고.
Maybe just flicking it out there a little bit, but remembering that it's a bit of the straighter side, and we've seen a lot of upweight shots running straight close to the center line on this outturn. So you got to be a little bit careful.
Не добавлял, внимательно.
Воу! Воу!
Саша!
Саша!
Саша в конце, когда будет... Саша, свип!
Саша, свип! И пошли к линии, да!
Саша, один!
Воу!
Воу!
Свип! Свип! Воу, все, не надо ближе.
Все.
Хорош.
Another nice guard by Timur.
Блин, близко немного.
Run back called again.
Try again for round 2.
Pretty much 0 ice. Trying to hit the stone exactly where the brush is. Looked like a bit of a softer release this time. And seems to be a lot closer also. Ah, there we go. Great shot.
Great shot indeed. And he rolls off for a corner. Pretty perfect.
아까 그런 거 그냥 그렇게 하면 그냥 아예 앞에 걸로 그냥 때릴래? 하는 거?
Давай чуть-чуть поменьше. Поменьше.
Нормально.
90? Добавил шут.
Линия надо. Линию свип. Линия свип.
Свип линия.
Воу. Свип.
Свип линия, да!
Свип линия. Воу.
Воу!
Если вес есть, можно сдать. Миша. Вес, свип.
Свип!
Свип.
So,
До конца до пола.
pretty good looking shot. If they can drag it down there.
Да!
Well,
To be fully buried though, I think.
Хорошо.
Ну и нормально, тоже
Maybe it,
неплохо. Он зашел хотя бы чуть-чуть?
Ну он торчит.
Нет, торчит,
yeah,
зашел.
I think they're looking at the
Ролл не
run.
будет, ролл не будет.
Perhaps. No,
just
they're
asking
checking to
it.
see how much they can see.
yeah.
Пусть бьет ролл.
There we go.
Нет, в смысле ролл туда.
Нет, конечно.
Got a third.
Больше половины.
So he'd be looking to play the hit on the yellow and try and save the shooter.
Сколько бросил? Не сказали?
Try and sit in the house, force Russia to play a hit. Of course, if you just pick up the yellow and roll out, just allowing Russia to play the same draw again.
태경아, 앞에 걸로 가자.
And a roll off the guard here isn't too bad. Oh.
Didn't like the look
Change
from the
call.
hack. So Ki Young Lee playing this run. Just saw his third, Ki Bok Lee, play this shot. It seemed to be a bit of an outward motion release. Oh, just tickles the yellow. Unlucky. And a great chance for Russia to force Korea to one.
Я хочу, чтобы он вел.
Да?
Так он бить может. Даже не знаю, можно сюда просто.
Так он тоже будет бить. Просто здесь ему стей легче пробить и все, и у него будет лучше. Ему просто стей здесь легче пробить и все, то же самое.
Если
Либо сюда
просто вот
вести.
сюда.
Я говорю, вот сюда вот нормально.
I wouldn't mind seeing them drawing around their own red here.
Но даже если будет так, ну, не страшно.
Просто я сюда не знаю.
Could just split the rings, but
Сюда
Yeah,
хорошо, но я
I
не
like
знаю,
splitting
как.
the rings.
Начало.
Да.
Вес такой же
you know,
тогда.
if you group the stones here, you
Если что, самый конец
think it'd be
попрём.
very.
Можно за него.
I'm not sure if you see Korea try and play the double and run for the blank, and even if they would blank the end, it's not too bad a result for Russia.
No.
If you draw the forfeit here, half
Давай
around
чуть
your own
поменьше
yellow,
щетки.
chance of
Еще.
stealing.
Если будет широкий, не страшно.
Ну да.
Давай еще.
Не-не, нормально, Артур.
Не, ну двигай. Так, сколько у меня было сейчас?
But they are just splitting the rings. Happy with the force.
Вес. Внимательно, 8 футов. Нельзя
Давай.
ниже.
Легко, легко,
Если
легко.
сильнее, сильнее. О, поменяться. Саша. Саша.
Оу.
Вот сюда.
Оу. Дай! Дай!
Фик.
Дай!
О, поднять вообще. Убрать щетку.
Good shot.
Блин, ну там стей, видишь, можно.
If they did hit, they'd have to make a roll.
That's what they're looking at.
Ролл ловить самое поганое.
Я не знаю, можно было на самый-самый край, наверное. Тогда он бы тогда точно вез.
I think you're happy to force them to play the hit and roll here.
Перешел
Ему
много.
стей достаточно.
Воу! Воу! Yep! Ой! Yep! Ой! Воу! Yep! Воу! 뒤좀 가져가야 돼.
Nice shot. Score a 1 for Korea. That's going to make it a 5 shots to 4 game after 6.
And do a little score update for you.
시간 여유 있다.
So,
위치 잘 잡아야 돼.
the game between Canada and Estonia. We've got a 6-1 lead from Canada in the 7th end. In the Switzerland-Norway game, we've got a lead of 4-1 for Switzerland. Norway just forced to take a single in the 6th end. Italy versus Scotland, we've got a 4-2 lead for Scotland. And we've got a 5-4 game for Sweden over the US.
I'm a little bit concerned about Norway, of course, being Norwegian. They seem to be dropping another game to Switzerland, and that would make an 0-4 record with still with nations like Scotland and Sweden left. It's going to be hard to turn around for a playoff spot, and it's almost like they might be in danger of losing the spot in the Worlds. Still early though.
Yeah. Not what you would have expected going into this event.
I was hoping for a bit more. Maybe the loss of their skip Eirik Mjøen was a bit too much to handle.
Perhaps. Maybe they just need you as a cheerleader in the stands, Sander. Come up with some good songs.
Well, I got him.
I don't doubt that.
We're talking about Korean lead. Sung Yeo-sun coming up a bit shy with a few of his draws. The first one comes a bit deep this time. And now back to letting his sweepers work a wee bit. Skip comes running out to help.
Bringing it as tight as they can. Trying to get the line. And it's just not enough.
Вес есть. Вес отличный.
Дай! 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 Да! До конца, дай! Да! Тимур, ролл! Убирай его, убирай. Все. Нормально, супер. Хуже только стал. Ничего страшного.
I think it's a red shot just now.
Хорош!
But most importantly, it just opens up the scoring area. And rolls in behind the corner guard, actually. Korea choosing to follow it down. Really coming off the line here. Oh, it's just going to tickle the guard. Slips to the back of the 8. Board weight.
There you go. There's one word we know. Or at least we can guess.
Мне кажется, контроль! Контроль!
Дай! Да, мужики, удержать, дай! Да! Держать! Оу! Миша, ролл.
So using a few
Контроль, мне кажется. Он и поехал.
international terms.
Хорош, Сань.
Yeah.
I know
Roll.
Не засекал?
Canadian curler Bob Ursel has been coaching some of the Russian teams. He was coaching at the Uni Games in Granada.
Yep.
Have you thought about coaching, Alison?
Yeah, I think it would be a ton of fun. Now that I'm kind of out of the curling circuit a bit, it'd be nice to come back into it.
Bit of a miscue here, but second prize gets the double. think they were maybe just looking for the roll. Sometimes it's nice to see a few opponent stones fly though.
Yeah, not a bad miss, but wasn't what they were looking for, but
Пока много линии.
shake it off.
Линии очень много ждать. Да, надо ждать до конца, наверное.
That's not looking too good.
Да, точно останется. Вес уже
Мешай.
можно. Давай в конец.
Давай в конец.
О,
Сип!
легче, легче, сам.
Сип, можно, дай!
Сип, сип.
Да, до конца нажал, дай!
Just wide on line there.
Yeah, bring it as far back as they can to try and
Нормально.
bury some more.
Ну просто немножко больше, видишь?
Нет, Сань, нормально все.
Looks like they've got about a quarter from the hack.
Эй!
Смотри, все.
Maybe about a third. Depends on your optimism.
Some players are a bit optimistic. Nah, I can see all of it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Don't worry.
I
Nose
got
hit.
this.
Easy. Then you're as a sweeper, you're like, really?
Are you sure?
Did swing a lot coming off the line here. We saw
Yeah,
them
this
crash
is
on the guard
really
once already.
going.
And yep, on the guard again. At least it will open up the yellow.
Might have got that started a little bit. It really started to move out of his hand.
Да. Ну что, 9?
Легко протираем всегда.
Нет, все правильно, все правильно.
So a nice chance for Russia to lie 2 here.
Без.
Добавил, внимательно.
Легко.
Линия есть.
Timur playing a lot better on his draws than his takeout shots in this game.
Больше на сколько? Давай фриз. Сип.
Нет
Сип.
линии на фриз. О.
Да. Все, Сип.
Comes up a little heavy. Plan B. Drag this one up down onto the red rock. I'd say that's not too bad.
No.
Nice angles, no double here.
Не говори под руку.
Yeah, Korea will go for the open one.
Слышь?
Нормально все. Надо было пораньше просто сообразить.
Не говори под руку. Это ставил вот. Сколько было? Сколько было?
Control. Number down. Number down.
Nice shot.
Вытесни.
Будет, да? За Тиллайном будет.
Да. Так опасно.
Да, согласен.
Можно так, но в крайнем случае вот так. Борт!
Давай.
Korea gets it a little bit closer to the guard, but that does, unfortunately for them, leave a hit and roll for Russia. Roll a lot closer. So
Легко.
we'll see who gets there first.
Свип.
Да! Да, удержать на линии, да!
Свип.
Да!
Свип.
Хорош.
I think they thought it was going to roll a little bit more than it
Надо было
did,
пораньше
but
бросить.
still a nice shot, regardless.
Наоборот, так лучше. 약간 툭 밀어대고. 좀만 더 짧게. 좀 돈다 안 그랬나?
Korea electing to throw the freeze here.
박스야.
I guess they're just thinking if we come after this with a quiet weight, we might just jam it in the back, maybe.
Or at risk of maybe hitting the guard. I'm not sure. Too risky of a hit, I guess.
It's an easier way of leaving a rock in there for sure. Even if you stop a bit short here, Russia's going to have to deal with it. But bit of a key shot.
Seems pretty close. Might need to go a bit for weight.
The line was perfect, just a couple of feet short. But like I said, at least Russia's going to have to deal with it.
Ну да, будем ждать, пока перевалит.
Согласен?
Можно просто вот так вынести его.
Опасно.
Тоже, да.
Надо два лучше делать. Но если мы с другой стороны, если мы вот так вот сделаем, они нам фриз привезут.
Это смотря как мы сделаем.
Нет, там не получится так, чтобы вот этот ушел полностью.
Спроси, там большой запас?
А?
Большой запас у них, спроси.
Вот. Ну, запас есть.
Бэклайн не успеет довалить.
А?
Бэклайн не успеет довалить.
So the Russian team looking at how much air they have between that rock and the guard.
Ну, мне вот этот вариант просто не нравится. Здесь угол отрицательный.
Да. Что, бэклайном его будем доставать? Чтобы он успел завалиться? Как думаете? Ну, других вариантов нету. Или просто его клиром высекать. Но клиром стрёмно, можно свой высечь. Сколько вес? Контроль на свипе сразу.
Looking to throw the hit and roll here.
Воу. Просто легко. Внимание. Нет. Свип. Дай. Свип. Воу. Свип. Воу. Воу. Ничего поднять.
Ничего!
Поднять, вались.
Утирай!
Ooh.
Не успел довалиться
Not
чуть.
too bad.
Вес много, да.
Видишь, он как резко пошел.
Russia lying second, third, and fourth shot. Crew's going to have to be a little bit careful.
Вот я говорю, чуть-чуть ему не хватило.
Pushes that Korean one to the open too, so
Я так и думал на самом деле, но нам же не обязательно было идеально.
obviously very accessible for the Russian team to hit and lie for 3. Sorry, 4. If the guys don't get one in here. Good.
이정 중인가? 치면은 2번이야. 치면 우리? 2번. 1, 2번? 3번이야. 안 돼 이거.
Thinking about nose hitting the top one, but I don't think it'll be second shot.
네, 그러다 여기 하면 4개야. 너무 위험해.
They'd like to draw half a way around this top hill, but
Could leave a double.
could very easily leave a double.
No, definitely won't be shot if they hit the top one. So
뒤로 완전 닦아서 그래 여기 놓을래.
they could freeze to that back one.
어떻게 할래?
I don't mind that.
여기로 보고 왜 이렇게 좀
Come up a bit short, though. It might be a double still.
여기.
Off the
그래서
shot
어차피
stone.
얘들은 뭐
Well, no
하는
matter what, I think he's got a tough shot ahead of him. I think I like this. I like the freeze to the back. You need to get another rock in there.
I think they're looking at bringing it top 4, though. They bring it side by side with the top hill, just better than it. Don't think they have a shot. Although if you bring it a little too deep, it might be sort of a slash double on the top hill.
Yeah.
There's
Regardless, Russia's gonna have a shot.
yeah, it seems like there's more spots where thinking things can go wrong
Yeah.
than right.
Yeah.
And that's always a little
Little scary.
yes. And it's all scary as a sweeper, and it's all about communication here. So sweepers really need to let their ice skip know where it's going to stop, and the ice skip's going to have to make a call. So down to the sweepers now. I think they're just trying to put it top 4, but if it's tight on line, they might just bring it deep instead. It seems like that's plan B.
Looks like we're going to the back one.
Oh, well, that's a dangerous. This is a very dangerous spot to put it. It had to be a foot higher.
Yeah.
If anything.
If it wasn't going to be all the way back, they needed to leave that.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a miscommunication there. And I think Arturel has enough air on the inside of this other red to come off it and play the double for 4.
It's definitely there.
Big shot. Arturel could be a game-winning shot right here.
Whoa.
Last stone of the 7th.
Whoa.
Double for 2. Gonna have enough pace coming off the other red? No.
Wow.
And it's just 1.
Yep.
We've seen that more than a few times in this game. These upweight shots running straight down the center line. Had to be a little tougher with that shot.
If you're Korea right now, I think you're wiping the sweat off your brow. That's a big sigh of relief for them. And I'm sure for the Russian team, it's extremely disappointing. That would have been a huge swing for them, giving them the momentum that they need.
Yeah, it actually ends up as a great result for Korea. Tie game now, and they have last on the 8th end. And for them, they'll be looking to just score on this end, I think.
Yeah.
Even scoring 1 is not too bad.
No, as long as you score, can't give it but any steals.
The question is, how aggressive are Russia going to be in this end? Some teams might be looking to steal.
Mikhail, 93% after 7 ends.
Yeah, I think he's had a pretty good game. Can't remember too many mistakes from him.
He's coming up a bit short sometimes, though.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, he had a few freeze attempts that came up short earlier in the game, but
They weren't bad results because they still left guards, center guards for the guys to use for later, but a plan B.
Another nice center guard. Song Sun with the intern draw.
Sweepers really working here. Nice brush. When you give your sweepers a pat on the back and say thank you.
Маловато, Артур.
4 надо.
Будет, я думаю.
О, линии много, Тимур. О, вообще не падает.
Эсбанат, Артур.
Пойдет только в конце.
4.
О,
Можно ждать. Можно.
Тимур один. И пошел, сип. Пошли, сип. Да. Вообще не упал. Нормально, Михан.
Didn't catch the curl enough.
Но он очень ставил много.
Needed to throw a bit more weight to get it to go a bit further behind that guard.
Control down.
준비는 빨리 했는데.
Not able to stick around there.
천천히 해야 돼.
And leaving the same draw again for Russia.
나 얘기하는데 있어.
Do you have the one game that's ended there that you can see in the background? So it's a 10-1 win for Canada over Estonia.
A bit of a tough week for the Estonians after
starting off with a win.
beat Italy with a draw in the 10th end for the win, but they've been dropping a lot of big ends after that.
Yeah.
Все, до конца! Можно до конца! До конца, дай! Давай до полной остановки!
This one looks a bit better.
Тащи, давай, Сик.
Tucking a piece underneath.
Супер. Пить уже охота.
알겠다.
어떤 거?
범퍼!
앞에 건드려도 돼. 아팅아, 핵으로 하자, 핵.
Having a bit of a struggle here. 46% after the 7 ends. Just having a bit of a tough game. See here, it's just wrecking off the top one. Kind of see the frustration setting in for him. Sometimes it's hard to shake it off when you're having a tough game.
Yeah, just kind of second guessing everything you do.
Yeah. And that's when it really goes wrong. When you start overthinking in the hack about all the things you're doing wrong. You need to really try to clear your mind.
Сколько? Пятый.
Тимур!
Пятый.
Тимур первый! Все, до
Вес
конца
куда
можно!
нужно? Куда нужно? Вес пятый, шестой едет.
Свип!
Со свипом шестой.
Давай ближе! Свип! Вот сюда! Да! Оу! Да! Да! Свип! Хорош, Сань, тоже вариант.
Ну, сейчас они ролл могут поймать.
Да.
I think they would have wanted that one to curl a bit more to
Нормально, хорошо.
block off both. Of course, you can't fully block off both, but now they've got a pretty close slash on the top red.
I wasn't looking too happy with it, but it's not a bad shot.
No.
Нет!
Мне так больше
Больше!
нравится.
Борт! Воу! Легко? Дай!
Bit of a struggle for Team AG, but he's improving.
Воу!
Нет,
Ничего!
нет. Свип, свип.
Воу!
Another good shot here.
Воу.
He's gonna belay. Nice shot.
Колодка приехала. Колодка.
Now, looking to run off both these yellows. Key Buckley, third for Korean team. Some real pace. Just jams it.
And it'll still lie for shot. So Russia going to hit the open one now to lie 2.
Давай 0 лучше.
Давай 0.
Looking for the roll in. Just to the center line.
Давай чутка меньше.
Стой, не страшно.
Воу. 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 Воу.
Дай! Дай!
Воу. Тип. Воу. Ничего, поднять. Саша, Саша.
Саша, возьми маленькую. Да.
Тип.
Нормально.
Не, меньше надо явно, Артур.
А? Не страшно, ну
Ну
нормально.
там прямо все идет, запас большой.
So gets a little nudge in towards the center line. And Kibok Lee can't see too much of the inside, so they're going to play a hit on the other yellow and try and roll in behind the guards.
Move it down.
So bringing the weight down a wee bit here. Does not roll towards the center line, but stays there for shot.
Мы за красный ролл берем, да?
А?
За красный ролл.
Да.
Now I think Russia's going to try the same roll.
0.
Could set up for a first steal here. If they could have a roll directly underneath the center guard.
Если что, стой, не страшно. Воу. Можно поднять. Внимание. О,
Нет!
Нет, все, сам до конца.
Yeah, that's not,
Но нельзя
not what the
шире.
doctor ordered.
No, definitely giving Korea a break here. Just being able to see all of the rock though, so still a tough shot.
Whoa.
Gonna have to just kind of skinny that
Whoa.
guard to lie there. Definitely don't want to roll out here. There we go, still 6 in, so forcing Russia to make the hit.
Yeah, but leaves the hit and roll.
It does.
Поставлю.
Last chance for Archer Ali. He can roll in behind the guards. He might be forcing Korea to score their one. It's almost like you want to roll in behind the yellow corner guard. The red belonging to Korea might be a very short run back for them.
Exactly.
Воу.
We know how much they love their run backs.
Свип.
I think they'll be happy to roll
Да, парни, удержай!
under either though.
Воу. Воу.
Looks close.
Свип.
Great shot.
It's a deep roll, so the short might not, the run back not too short then.
They went straight to it.
На грани.
А?
На грани.
Nice roll by Archer.
Всё равно.
At least forcing
Полностью закрыт.
Не, он открыт чуть.
Столько?
Ki Young Lee.
Guess he feels a lot more confident with this than throwing the draw.
Я слабее сделал чуть. Чем тот, что
Я резко клюнул опять, слава богу, дальше не пошел валить.
Not quite sure if they're playing for the one here. Maybe they like
Or the
blanking.
blank. Yeah.
Some teams don't mind scoring in the 9th to be up before the 10th either. If you could score 2 in the 9th, you have a really good chance of winning.
Yep.
Last stone of the 8th end, at least looking to make contact here. They'll stuff it. Score 1.
Which is A-okay.
Yeah, seemed like they were trying to blank it, but I think they'll be happy enough to score the 1. If they can ever force Russia to take 1 in the 9th, they'll come home with a hammer. So got all the chance to win.
To see a nice shot comment by the 3rd on the Russian team, Timur.
나 근데 좀 기다렸다. 약간 안쪽으로 더 맞을라
It's
했어.
always nice to see.
There's our Twitter hashtag WJCC 2015 for comments and questions. There's at least one expert in the booth there today, sitting next to me.
몰라 갑자기 왜 가지? 여덟, 아홉.
아니야 나도 아니야.
그냥 낫게.
그냥 떼.
안 한다. 안 가. 내가 보고 하잖아, 내가.
Пятый, 6-й. Вес хороший.
Тимур первый. Тимур первый.
Сейчас в конце можно будет
Тимур
вес.
первый.
Пока ждать. Пока ждать. Один, Саша.
Nice corner guard. And prior to that, we have a really nice draw to the top of the button. Have some good rocks in position so far.
처음에 닦으면 안 돼. 처음에 닦으면 안 돼. 루비야. 둘. 바꿔서. 계속 와. 많이 타이트하게 와야 돼. 파울. 계속 와. 고. 라인. 많이 바깥쪽이야.
A little bit longer of a guard than they wanted, but still does the trick. I think there's only a tiny piece showing.
Yes.
По-моему, пока ждать. Вес ждать. Пока тэп. Легко. Сейчас будет садиться. Вес уже можно.
Трис, отлично. Только вес.
Есть.
Чип.
Есть.
Да. Воу.
Nice freeze.
Хорош.
Perfect.
태균아, 앞에 해도 돼. 나이스 샷.
라인이야.
He's really having
лучше
a
вот так вот.
tough time.
Может, за свой?
Сейчас подумаю.
Ну, можно и туда, да.
Сейчас.
Надо под двойной не подставиться, главное.
With Korea opening up that
Вот так лучше.
their center rock, allowing Russia to put another one in there.
Колодка.
Колодка.
Да.
There's Anton Medved, umpire in the background. He was actually a Russian champion, national champion, curling, back in the day.
Nice.
Ближе к борту. Веса побольше, Артур.
Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Champion.
Something you would know all about.
Sometimes.
Хорош, Сань.
Of course, all the teams out here wanting to be champion this week.
Of course. It's a main goal for everyone coming into this. And fortunately, one team can only be the ones to say it.
Big weight coming down here. Through the port. Wow. So close to making it.
Wow. Great shot, though. Just a bullet coming down the sheet. Skipper had called them on, but with that much weight and with the guards in play, it's hard to want to jump through, jump over some hurdles to get in there.
Вес. Вес есть! Вес есть!
Nice shot.
Прости, Сань, передержали
I think both rocks even, so Korea only hoping to inch their way closer to group the rocks together.
이런 거 남겨줘야 돼.
Rolls out. Russia going to go around the center one. Well, center-ish.
Me and Sarah Carlson used to call that a hybrid.
I like it.
Trying to put out to know a new term.
Внимательно, внимательно. Поменяться!
Center guard if you
You
want
guys
to.
are so
but it's
innovative.
corner if you want to. It's bit of both.
Очень много линий. Вообще, куда вы третесь, ребят? Давай зайти. Давай в конец. Зайти, свип.
This one not really curling on them.
Вы что,
Nice weight, though.
можно было оставить пораньше. Пошире. Ты, видимо, вставил его просто в линию. Контроль. 시간 많아. 이제 이 시간이 많다. 진짜 많다 이제. 컨트롤.
Sit right there.
여기가 이제 뻗는 거라고.
See the same thing for Russia.
여기 뻗는 거야.
Get a little bit of a roll in, though.
라인은 잘 쳤어.
That's what Korea was hoping for on their last one.
Воу, воу. 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 Воу, поднять. Нет. Давай на край. Сип, сип. Да. Миша ролл, атаку. Да, Миша ролл. Да что ж ты будешь делать?
Oh. Russia looking good for their two so far. Korea's going to have to make a make a roll at some point.
Yeah,
Don't want to
they're
stop
gonna
them.
have to make a good one. Make a good roll here.
태야 좀만 더 짧게 뻗는다.
Lots of places to roll to. 3 guards up in front.
No brushes to it so far. Doesn't look like it's gonna get it. No. Just gonna hit it on the wrong side.
That's a big miss, really.
Yeah.
Not even close.
сюда вообще отлично будет.
Had a long way to roll to. Just
Главное низа.
so as you can see here with the time clocks, so we've got 7 minutes, 40 seconds for Russia with just 2 rocks left and then 1 end to go. So lots of time. And then even still with Korea, 5 minutes and 30 seconds is still plenty of time to play 1 end. Of course, it is thinking time, like we have said. So it's only when you're discussing and until your rock hits the T line in your delivery.
Also, both teams will have a timeout.
Yeah, they still haven't called their timeout, so
It's a good minute or more. Again, not fighting the line for the draw on the center side, as we have mentioned. It's a little bit straight. See,
wonder how much is open on the out turn side. Yeah.
Просто выше оставлять.
3/4.
Пусть здесь ловит. 이 점 줘도 괜찮아 지금은. Да, я знаю.
그래도 이거 신이 안 났나?
Для нас стоит достаточно. 그냥 쉽게 2점 주자. 이게 훨씬 많이 보여.
Skipper really wants to throw the hit. Guess giving up 2 is definitely a lot better than giving up 3 here. So Weiss was looking at the difference between throwing the freeze versus the hit, and with the freeze, should it hang wide for whatever reason, you could risk giving up 3, and that would be a huge downfall going into the last end. So I think to play it safe, playing the hit on the side, just make it go away. Again, not a broom to it so far. Russia just has anywhere in the 8-foot for the 2. Plus he has backing. Wow, as long as he doesn't tap it too far.
Легко, просто легко. Линия отличная. Больше?
last stone of the 9th end.
Guys just lightly cleaning it.
Есть упор, внимательно.
It's pretty good so far.
Просто легко, всегда легко. О, все, можно поднять. Отлично.
And it'll be good for 2. So we've got a tight game here in the last end. Russia up 1 without hammer.
На минус 1, если что.
Korea needing 2 to win, or 1 to force an extra end.
I think that's the tightest game we've seen so far on the
So far,
broadcast.
yeah. Keeping it close.
As mentioned, a couple of final scores out there in the Tundra Bias Hall today. Switzerland beating Norway 7 shots to 1, which moves the Norwegians into 0-4. Canada beat Estonia 10 shots to 1. 2 other games still ongoing. It's USA playing Sweden. They're doing a bit of a measure just now to see if USA stole one in the 9th or if Sweden got one. Before this end, Sweden was leading by 2, 7 shots to 5. So USA really needs that point to be still in it. And Italy's playing Scotland. They're in the 10th end. Scotland has a 1-point lead with hammer, but Italy right now lying 2 before Amos Mosaner's last rock, so things can happen.
Sweden took the point from the measure.
So Sweden takes the point, which will bring them into an 8 shots to 5 lead. So USA 3 down.
That's a big difference from stealing one.
Нормально, встал здесь уже.
So there's a couple of ways to play this end, especially for Russia. Do you play it aggressive and go for the steal, or do you just try and play it simple and just force Korea to their 1 for the extra, get hammer? Is there any special way you like to play the end? Aggressive or cautious if you're Russia? Play for the extra, go for the steal?
Personally, as a teammate, I would rather play it cautious. Going for the steal is pretty risky. If you try and force, you've got hammer in the extra end. Things are looking pretty good. Might be longer to stay out on the ice, but I think it might be worth it.
Yeah, I think so too. But I like the fact that they're putting up a center guard. If you're bringing both stones in the house, it's well, it's kind of making it a lot easier for Korea. At least if you have a center guard, you have somewhere to hide. But then again, if you bring both stones in the house, then Korea would maybe roll out at some point. You can just peel off the corner, and they're just never scoring there too.
Yeah.
But you can't hope for, you can't rely on mistakes from your opponent.
No, exactly.
So don't mind seeing the center guard.
Play your game plan based on your opponent actually making the shots.
Korea's going to ignore the yellows, come around the corner guard, knowing that they're just going to have to put a few stones in play.
I like that.
Yeah, aggressive call. And only for Russia. What do you do here?
Если мы тронем гард, то мы и свой гард снимем. Если мы тронем гард, то мы и свой гард снимем.
Еще вариант.
Вариантов особых нет. Либо гард сандалить еще один.
I think I'd like to see a play on the corner. Timeout called by Team Russia.
Мы можем снять гард, но мы просто и свой гард тоже снимем.
Эй, время идет.
Все,
останови.
Mikhail Bruskov is the coach. He'll come out.
Ну тут смотри, одна команда на 2 идет, другая
coaching them when they won the European Junior Challenge this year to qualify for the Worlds.
Можно и так, кстати, да.
Ну это, блин, это так, это.
So the coach has some walking time. When the coach makes it to the players, and the walking time runs out, and they'll have 1 minute to converse.
As we can see
У меня тоже был вариант сделать с роллом.
Sander and I can see right now, they haven't started the 1 minute on the clock yet, so as soon as the coach comes out,
А если мы снимем гард, то мы снимем и свой
Should
гард.
start
Два будут тащить.
about now.
Ты думаешь, что он пойдет
Except it
вниз?
hasn't
Конечно, да,
yet.
пойдет. Либо совсем толсто попадать и делать ролл на центр.
Maybe the umpire is keeping track.
Я бы снял. Ну, ты сейчас привезешь дальний гард, он будет...
Maybe
Он
there's a
будет
computer
его-
glitch
Вообще на
there.
минус 3.
Он полезет
Гард не
чистить
вариант.
центр. Да,
Надо либо в дом играть,
Поэтому снимаешь...
либо пилить.
Можно сыграть сюда, конечно, но за красный не надо, потому что
Это
потом
всё за Тиллайном
получишь
будет, да.
фриз и все. Снимай гард изнутри, не бойся, и все.
Фриз на красный отстой на задание.
Я говорю, мы можем просто свой гард снять, блин, еще.
Свой не надо снимать.
Я понимаю, что ролл пойдет, двойной получится.
Когда будешь
Да.
ролл делать?
Либо совсем толсто попадать и делать ролл на центр.
Давай так.
Бей, его снимай в любом случае.
Не, надо в любом случае
И
гард.
так.
Как получится уже там? Там,
Если что, играешь на -1.
ну, понятно.
Хорошо.
Ну,
Мы
и
просто так на
если
минус
он
2
плохо,
можем.
потом следующий тебе гард привезет, уже будешь снимать камень.
Хорошо.
тоже. Окей?
Да.
Да. Все, поехали.
Yeah, понимаешь, I think means
Да.
I understand.
В принципе, если совсем толсто
Бля, вот
попасть.
Impressive, because I sure
Вот
didn't.
тебе попасть, надо вот сюда вот
I
попасть.
hope I'm right.
Тебе вот так вот
I think
достаточно.
they
Не уверен.
Пол камня достаточно.
listen to their coach and maybe agree
Главная задача его убрать.
Да.
agree on the call. KOR-RUS was the
Там
last word.
падать прилично.
Means good.
Да,
Yeah.
50.
So I think they're all happy with the call and they're gonna, I think, just peel off the corner guard. Might be the run. He's looking behind him, but maybe that's just a plan B if Kuzmin's ever tight on the broom. The problem is if you're peeling the corner guard this way, you could be disturbing that center guard as well. You don't want to do that.
She does.
And exposes that yellow rock.
And to roll a bit off the center line too.
Ой, туда наоборот, скинул. Тайм-аут.
Timeout from
Come on.
Korea as well. And I'll just let you know that Scotland picked up a win against Italy, scoring 1 in the last end.
And now it's just the 2 games out here.
그러니까 이거 갈 거면 이렇게 가야 되는데. 이렇게 완전 밖으로 가야지.
Yeah,
또
USA
시기는 또
looking
그것도 괜찮아. 하나
not
막는
looking
거.
like they're going to be able to score their 3. Sweden so far.
Running them out of rocks.
Yep.
근데-
4 rocks to go for USA. No
이거
stones in the
잘못되면
house.
빛나는 거니까. 아니면 정타 쳐서 얘네한테 더블각을 주고 우리가 하나 오든가.
Min Chan Kim,
그냥 일단 한 개 더.
pretty experienced player himself.
이거는 너무
Won the
위험해.
Winter University Games in Erzurum, Turkey, back in 2011.
네. 여기야. 네. 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 정타? A 플레이 일단 이쯤. 네. 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 네.
Some wise words from the coach.
컨트롤 할게.
Sure he brings a lot of
가.
knowledge and experience to
누구야?
the team
어? 아니야. 나.
with his long, extensive world and national resume.
Yep. He's played 100 games at World Curling Federation events, including Pacific Juniors and
컨트롤.
Pacific Men's Winter University Games, and also attend one World Junior Curling Championship. Back in 06 with a 4-5 record, so he's been here before at this event. And the call is to
Hit and roll away. And
does not roll.
gonna stick there.
괜찮아. Ну, он здесь стоит, конечно, да.
А если просто
You know,
ролл?
sometimes when
Вот
you
так
call a
вот.
timeout,
Или от этого?
sort of takes the
Если ролл, то только от
momentum
этого.
out of the game.
Почему?
Это
Ну
хуже
да,
будет
согласен,
камень.
да, согласен, согласен.
Вот так, если только.
Если двойной хороший, можно пробовать.
We had an interesting
Я бы не сказал, что он хороший.
stat, I think, during the
Давай ролл.
Olympics where
Давай
the
средний,
percentages
Сань.
for shots made after timeouts, and it wasn't all that
С
great.
ошибкой стоит,
No.
да?
Да.
But could be because it's a tough shot they're playing, of
Right,
course.
yeah,
Да-да-да,
exactly.
But
Calling a timeout for a
Внимательно
reason.
следи.
yeah,
We're in a bit of a pickle.
Воу. Воу. Воу, ничего.
Поднять.
Ну, как у него может проходить вот так в камень. Так невозможно.
And I'll just roll out.
Ну ладно, у нас ролл еще остается.
So Korea here looking to split the rings.
Куда сейчас вкручиваешь? Просто отпустить же надо. Нет.
Get some separation between their two rocks.
자, 잠깐만,
Make sure
여기.
they're not setting up any doubles.
폼포 살짝 물려야 돼. T 뒤에. 아.
it's looking to bring it back 8, but I think I'd just be tempted to keep them level and bring
Yeah.
it out wide, just so Russia can't hit and roll on top or in front of the other red.
I agree.
You know, they're going to try and play the hit and roll in behind the center, and that's just going to be like a plan B for Russia to come on top of the other red. This one looking a little hot as well. Almost on the center guard at the moment. Or maybe not. I was
Side view.
looking at the side view. Well, comes to the spot the skip was pointing at. And the comment I made was if Russia doesn't get the center guard roll, they can just roll a bit further and line top of the red.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that definitely going even there was a bit better of a call. I think, in my opinion.
Легко.
Воу.
Well, you're allowed to have an opinion. That's why you're here.
Воу.
Извини.
But
Мне
nose
показалось,
hit.
он пошел падать уже.
It's not really what they were looking for. Seemed like during the game as a whole, both teams have been not making these rolls. They're
No, they've been
very often the
tricky
nose
shots.
hit, and sometimes rolling a little too far is not too bad.
We saw that yesterday too. The rolls were just a little tricky for a lot of teams to get right now. They might be maybe just not doing what you think.
I think they're just being a bit careful, though. I think they can tighten up the ice and try and utilize their sweepers. We don't. Again, it's just we don't see teams rolling too far very often.
잘했어.
I kind of like sitting
Понял.
there though.
Oh yeah,
Если вот
Yeah.
такой
that's
лучик
fine.
будет, то
Yeah.
лучше.
That's
А если
not
так,
bad
нет?
result. It's just
Вот так?
talking in general.
No.
Очень тонко попасть надо.
Да.
Yeah, good separation.
That is
Можно пробовать.
one tough double.
Куда попасть надо?
Yeah, rolling in behind the center could have been sort of a guard for Russia.
Я сюда щетку и поставлю.
Просто 50, да?
Нет, пушка.
Looks really skinny. Big weight.
Воу. Свип, дай, свип, свип, дай, свип, дай.
It's gotta be on it. Close.
Very close. Opportunity for Russia, and he's
Меньше надо попадать.
going to be kicking
Да,
himself
еще
over that.
So Korea gonna draw around the guard. Gonna make sure not to come too deep and allow a freeze.
Think about a top 8 should be good here. Don't really need to go much deeper than that.
Ти. Тирай. 오프라인. 해달. 약간 줄이.
T. 아니야, 아니야, 아니야. 아니야, 아니야.
Calling out T-line. It's a
Definitely deeper than you probably want it.
but you know, it's kind of on the open, so I'm not quite sure if Russia's gonna play a freeze on that. It's not too bad there. Not sure if they can see the inside either to hit and flop.
Может ошибется.
Doesn't really look like it.
Давай.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very thin to me.
Очень острый.
Yeah,
Так попасть.
try the double instead.
Ну давай, борт, колодка.
Да. Что, колодкой?
Looks thinner than the first one they tried.
Так? Или вы два хотите?
Yeah, it's still tough, but
Там два стоит, там не стоит два.
I guess they feel that
Нет, не
this is a good opportunity to try,
Да не, он
perhaps.
недоволен.
В принципе, вот так не страшно будет.
Можешь фристеп делать.
Фристеп?
Да.
Хороший вариант.
I don't mind just tapping that
Да,
one
давай.
back if I was Russia.
4 за тогда.
Just
Давай.
try and
Вот столько надо оттолкнуть.
Хорошо, даже если фриз
Yeah.
будет, не страшно.
Yeah,
Да, да.
remembering that
Главное, не
Russia's
сильнее.
got a 1-point lead. If they
Или убрать.
concede a 2, they lose the game.
Mhm.
So you won't be too concerned about dropping 3.
I think that if they just kind of push this back a little bit and sit there, if Korea picks it out, then Russia can have the same shot, live shot at the back there,
Легко.
if they can get a good freeze, that is.
Воу, 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 линия, ждать, ждать,
I like
ждать,
this call.
поднять. Много вес, много линий. Много линий, Миша.
Looks like
Whoa,
it's
ничего,
really
whoa.
hanging though.
Воу,
Ничего.
ничего,
Needs to
ничего,
bump
сам
the
до
red.
конца, сам абсолютно
О.
до конца, сам.
Тимур, оттирай.
Pretty good.
Хорошо.
Not too easy
Неплохо,
to get rid of the yellow either, actually.
No. Like I said, if they pick it, then they've got the same shot. He just has to throw the same weight, basically.
Where'd you pick it though? Through the hole to the reds? It's
We saw
scary
some.
looking shot.
We saw some hole shots yesterday.
Not on purpose though.
No.
Oh, well, Korea thinking we're lying shot, so we're just going to draw to the top of the 4, perhaps. Very quiet in the Tundra bit I saw now.
Mhm.
All the other games are over. Most of the fans sticking around for this 10th end on sheet C.
So 64% on 7 draws. Not the highest number you want to see, but he's had 7, so hopefully he can learn by them and get a good one on this. Put it in the right spots.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa.
Oh, wait,来
Whoa.
wait.
回球掉。
This is really moving.
Yep.
Ball doesn't have enough weight.
It doesn't look like it. And now Russia's going to have a nice little tap.
Тэп.
Я предлагаю так вот просто оттолкнуть его.
Можно просто сделать тэп, и будет тогда вообще...
Потому что ему двойной останется.
Ему тяжело надо будет взять.
А если здесь
будет
останется, то подпорка у нас есть.
Нет, не. Вот так вообще идеально будет.
Просто фриз?
Так, да.
Ну это идеально надо, Артур.
Ну можно небольшой тэп,
Можно
ладно,
вот так
хорошо.
вот, смотри.
Russia
Небольшой
has
тэп.
небольшой
1
тэп,
minute
хорошо.
40 seconds to talk this
Вес
out.
такой же?
Можем сделать вот так.
Надо
вот,
чуть-чуть в край попасть. Понимаешь?
да,
чуть-чуть
такая же
край.
щетка.
Вес такой же.
Да. Ты сейчас как стоял?
Так.
Так и оставляй. Не, так и оставляй.
Я вот так стоял.
Так, может чуть повыше поставить?
Вес-то выше будет.
Чуть косой.
What are you
Поуже
thinking
ставь.
here? Straight
Нормально,
tap
оставляй.
onto
В
the
принципе,
red?
нам в
Or?
лоб
Yeah.
можно толкнуть.
You can get a straight tap, just a
Оставляй
live
такую,
Вес
shot.
повтор.
Forces Korea to make a full 4-foot draw to the rings. Puts a lot of pressure on Korea.
Got to make sure not to be too high side. You might leave a double. Korea lying shot right now. So Archer Allen is going to have to move up the yellow. Oh, real tight on line. He's going to crash on the guard.
Ooh, big miss.
Wow.
I was right.
And that's leaving a out-turn draw for the win. And with Kyung Lee just having played this draw, he should have a pretty good sense of the weight. That's his first attempt, top 12.
Just needs a piece of the 4 here.
Yep, just add 4 feet to his first draw and he's there. All down to the sweepers too though. So last stone of the 10th end draw for 2 and the game for Korea. For them to pick up a second win. Skip's out. Vice skip is out. Team effort here now to bring this one into the forfeit. But now easing off a little bit. I think we're pretty close.
Looks okay to me.
There we go. That score of 2. Win for Korea. So both teams will move to 2 wins, 2 losses. 8-7 for the Koreans.
Gotta be disappointing for the Russian team.
Yeah, they had a decent game. It was back and forth all the way through 10 ends. But Archer Ali not quite being able to put any pressure on Korea with his last rock. And left that draw for Ki-Young Lee. So there's the scoreboard, just singles and 2s all the way through. Russia starting out with hammer, but Korea turning everything around. We'll have some highlights from this game shortly. Just taking the time to look elsewhere in the arena. Starting on sheet alpha, Switzerland with a solid win over Norway, which will put Norway at no wins, 4 losses, while the Swiss have won all their games. They're at 4-0, looking really good for the Swiss, reigning world champions. Canada beating Estonia 10-1. Italy dropping a game to Scotland. Scotland winning 5-3. And we also saw Sweden beating USA 8-5. But let's have some highlights from our future game, Korea-Russia. First end. Archer Ali, skip of Russia with an out-turn draw against 2, no problems. Finds the forfeit for the single. In the second end, Korea would have hammer, already lying 1. It's a draw for Ki-Young Lee. Sweeper's dream enters the forfeit. Score of 2. Russia again trying to score their deuce, but having a hard time. Archer Ali having to draw through a port for his single. Draw weight spot on yet again, but tied game and Korea's turned the hammer. In the fourth end, big shot from Ki-Young Lee, looking to pick off the yellow for a score of 3. Just feathers it. And doesn't move it quite far enough. Score of 1 for sure after a measure. It would be 2, so 4 shots to 2 lead for Korea after 4 ends. In the fifth, Archer Ali with a delicate takeout for a score of 2, no problem. And it's all tying up after 5 ends.
Чуть-чуть, да, пошире было. Нормально, не критично.
In the 6th, Russia line 2. Ki-Young Lee forced to take his one, needs a little hit and roll. Makes it no problem, and Korea leading 5 shots to 4.
Средний.
7th end, a big shot for Archer Ali. Chance to score 4 with a double, but just hanging out there. It's just going to roll in for the single. Missed opportunity, and it's a tied game. 8th end, Russia line 1. Ki-Young Lee throwing the run back, sticks it for 1. 6-5 Korea. In the 9th end, it would be Russia to score 2. Archer Ali with a nice in-turn draw to put them in the lead before the final end. But when Archer Ali couldn't play his old tap up on the yellow, Rex on the guard, leaving Korea with shot stone. Ki-Young Lee could put the game away with an out-turn draw. Bit of a team effort to bring it to the forfeit, but no problem. Korea wins and 8 shots to 7 game. So that's it for us for now. Our next game will be tonight at 7 o'clock local time. That's Eastern European time. And we'll have a very exciting matchup between Sweden and Canada for the women's draw. So join us later. But that's it for us at the World Curling Federation. See you again later.